The Me I Almost Lost by Diane Cridge. Nowra, 2541. Narrated by Chloe Schwank. It all began in 1942 when a young, adventurous 20-year-old North Sydney secretary decided to join the Land Army. This decision found her in Batlow on the Bartels family orchard. Mr. and Mrs. Bartel and their two sons, Arthur and Tom, were pioneer farmers with very little education. Joyce burst into their simple life. She was a beautiful, well-spoken lady, educated in one of the best girls' schools in North Sydney. Her elocution lessons made her stand out, speaking correct Queen's English. However, this did not deter Arthur, who could barely read or write, finding an important part in Joyce's life. Mr. and Mrs. Bartel became my much-loved grandparents. Growing up on the farm presented many challenges. Mum was passionate about transforming her 4 beautiful daughters into ladies. We were more tomboys, happiest climbing trees and playing in the snow. Today we would have been labelled hyperactive or ADHD. Such a contrast to Mum's silver service upbringing with maids to do the work. Hence, it was Mum who taught us the more refined skills in life. Our childhood on the farm was happy and secure, with lots of love and rigorous hard work. It was character building, giving a very good foundation to life, which I only appreciated later. Music lessons were another attempt Mum made to find a way to transform us into the ladies she had dreamed we would become. These lessons were given by the local nun with the ruler to correct our mistakes, which were many, as we certainly were not as passionate as Mum in wanting to learn to play the piano. Little did she realize the trauma she was building into our little lives. Our playing was note perfect, but rigid and soulless. Trepidation describes our constant state of mind at the piano. We were scared of making mistakes, and having her apply the ruler across our tender fingers with great gusto and frustration. Needless to say, piano lessons were never our favourite time of day. Regardless of how traumatic each lesson was, we did pass all our piano exams. Later, I realised the self-discipline I gained from learning to play the piano held me in good stead for what lay ahead. Somehow, I grew to love music and playing the piano, especially duets with my sisters. Through all my own childbearing years, I carried with me a burning desire to study music further. I always felt, deep down inside, that there was much more to music than had been drummed into me as a child. I was given the gift of a solid foundation to life, so securely instilled into my very being as a child that it had a levelling impact on what was to come. Discovering at the tender age of 18 that I had Mum's adventurous spirit bursting within me, I was ready to face the world alone. Propelling me into this new stage was a determination and outrageous enthusiasm which overshadowed my inexperience and naivety. All I could see were the exciting invitations life presented, like an empty canvas waiting for me to complete. The next few years gave me many wonderful experiences and new skills. One of these new experiences presented itself when a young farmer from Western Australia entered my world. Yes, to get married and have children, that was the ultimate goal for any woman to aspire to, wasn't it? 6 beautiful, healthy children later, something captured my attention. Where had my unreserved confidence and enthusiasm gone? All my outrageous adventure and love for life had all but disappeared, leaving me floundering and wondering, when and how did that delightful young child within depart? Something had to be done. After 28 years, marriage had squashed me into such a wounded state of mind, preventing me from functioning to my full potential. So low was I that giving up altogether had totally consumed my thoughts. Buried deep within my heart, I knew exactly who I was. I decided to eliminate the many voices in my head. One being, "You will never amount to anything," spoken with adamant, unrelenting strictness as the nun pushed me off the piano stool. I had to do something to correct this, as I still had my journey waiting for me to complete. Giving up was not an option. I separated myself from the marriage in order to regain who I was created to be, bit by bit reclaiming what the last 20-odd years had eroded away. I approached each new step with confidence and excitement. My love for learning found me returning to my music studies, traveling, and seeing my strength and creativity return. The world was my oyster again. Music began to open doors of emotional expression I never knew existed. I found I had a passion for playing, and music was beginning to heal my damaged soul. I spent many hours playing, learning this new language. This newfound love for music led me into ballroom dancing. I immersed myself into dancing competitions in Sydney and beyond, startling those who had danced for years by winning. As a child, my dad's words, "You run like a bull at a gate," later encouraged me as it indicated that whatever I do, I give it 100%, whether good or bad. So even the ability to get up and go again after I have been knocked down is possible. My determination made it possible to complete the canvas that was started so many years ago and to regain the person I am. I would not have believed it if someone had told me that I would end up a much-loved successful music teacher and ballroom dancer, happily retiring after 20-odd years to live in a beautiful unit with my lovely white baby grand. This story wouldn't be complete without mentioning my strong faith in God is the source for the strength of who I am. The end.